One of the nation's largest nonprofits that support the LGBT community has opened up a chapter here in Attleboro. The organization Parents, Families, and Friends of Lesbians and Gays, known as PFLAG, held its first meeting on March 18th at the Second Congregational Church. Group President Joseph Ordog spoke with us about the new organization.
I'm Joseph Ordog. I'm the current president of PFLAG Attleboro, and PFLAG is a support group for parents, family, friends, and allies of lesbians and gays, and our primary focus is support, advocacy, and education.
My name is Charlie Oliver. I live in Attleboro, and I happen to be a member of the church which PFLAG meetings will take place in, and it was through my church and people in the church that I first became aware of PFLAG. It has been relevant in my family, so when interest was expressed in starting a chapter here, I was all for it and wanted to be a part of it.
The options for people at the moment are Boston or Providence. Providence meets the first Wednesday of the month, and we wanted to provide an access point for people that needed support in the local community on an alternate Wednesday, so that if they needed support twice a month, they'd have the option of Providence or Attleboro.
It is not an easy thing to pronounce yourself as being gay. To come out requires an incredible amount of courage, energy, and when you are on the receiving end as a parent, the same can be said. You have a different set of reactions that concern yourself and your relationship with your child. But to think that somewhere right in your hometown you can share experiences and get a little support, I think is fabulous.
The statistics say 1 in 10 people are gay. There's a large number of families in this community that are impacted by their children coming out to them and wanting to understand, what does that mean, have their fears allayed. I know that the landscape has changed in the last year even, with the advocacy that's happened and the marriage laws changing, but there's still a long road ahead of us.
Unfortunately, many faith communities have been one of the focal points for discrimination against gays. And I'm proud of my own church, Second Congregational, that it has not only recognized that, but stood up and said, we are open to all people, no matter what. You know, there are no exceptions. And I think that's an attitude which is growing in momentum.
Because it's a support group, what we need is the generosity of an institution to say, you can come meet at our facility. And we want to thank Second Congregational Church for providing us with meeting space. We, over the years, as we develop, we hope to create a pool of money that will buy resources like library materials, so that people can take books home that are germane to their situation.
Discrimination in whatever form it takes is probably a learned behavior, and it may take generations to unlearn that kind of behavior. But as we begin to see people in prominent positions in our society, our mayor, for example, we realize that this is real life, and it's okay if you're gay. And we certainly have seen it supported by bodies of legislation, one state after another.
Parents and families who have just learned that a family member is gay should celebrate that the love and trust of their family member says, I know I can trust you to accept me for who I am, and keep those lines of communication open.
As a parent, think of the wide range of reactions that you will go through when a child announces to you that he or she is gay. You're going to have your own fears. What will my family think? What will my friends think? What have I said over the past few years that might have hurt my child? Is there any way that I have compromised our relationship? What can I do to show how proud I am for the courage they mustered up to tell me that and to show my trust? There's this immense volume of thoughts that go through your head, and they're serious thoughts. And if you keep them all inside your head and keep them to yourself, you've accomplished nothing except adding a great layer of stress. If you can talk with other people who are in the same position or have been through that process, or with other people who have come out, I think you have gained immensely.
The PFLAG of Attleboro support group will meet the third Wednesday of every month at Second Congregational Church, 50 Park Street in Attleboro, in the conference room at 6:45 p.m. And we'll have discussion groups, we'll have speakers from time to time, we'll have movies, and we'll talk about what's impacting the community.
There is still fear, there is still violence, there is bullying, there are any number of adverse consequences to letting the world know that you're gay. And hopefully groups like this will be one means of overcoming that. I think anyone who has had friends or someone in their family who has come out, I think you quickly realize that these are the same people. They just all of a sudden we have assigned this different label to them, and hopefully someday all those labels will go away and they'll just be people.